Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video again. Same reason, super busy. So what I'm going to try and do from now on is upload a video every month as a shop update, which is what this is. So first of all, as I said, we're still super busy. Our number of students has increased again. We're probably up in somewhere around 60 students now, and about 80 teaching hours a week. Not just me, although I do half of that. So yeah, I'm teaching about 42 hours a week. So it's getting crazy busy. We have hired another teacher. I did mention in a previous video we were planning to talk to a teacher who was from Austria, and we did. Although he's from Austria, he's actually German. Now he does have quite a strong German accent, but he does speak very clearly. So we've hired him. He's been with us for about 2 weeks or so now, and he is an excellent teacher. He's fantastic with the kids love him. He's a great teacher, he's an entertainer, he never stops talking, and he's an all-round good guy. His name's Alex, as I said, he's from Austria, but he's German. And yeah, he's been an absolute, well, I would say godsend, but I don't believe in God, so but he has been, absolutely amazing, and obviously we're going to keep him on. The accent can be a bit of a problem sometimes for the kids, but as I said, he does speak very, very clearly and speaks slowly when he needs to, and they seem to be able to understand him just fine, so all good. And so yeah, as I said, the kids love him, and it's working really well. Our other teacher, who I think I again previously mentioned in a video, had a motorbike accident, and he's got a couple of injuries, not life-threatening or anything, but put him out of action for a few weeks. We are hoping he's going to come back fairly soon as well. If not, then we're going to need to hire another teacher, even if it's just temporary, although I don't really like to do that, particularly if they're very good, but we'll see. We're going to run a summer camp this year, hopefully anyway. My wife's organising most of that. I'm not really having much to do with it. And it's basically just, the kids stay with us all day for, I think it's like, each one is 3 days. And, they do all sorts of activities, and there'll be entertainment and food and drinks and things, just basically to get them off the parents' hands for a day or 3 days. So my wife's really getting into that, and hopefully that's going to take off. Ideally we need somewhere between 20 to 30 students to apply for it to really make it worthwhile. We've got 2 at the moment, which is she said she's worked it out and it covers the bills. Well, that's all well and good, but because what we're doing, we're actually renting another shop for that camp. It's actually next door to this one. So we've got to pay for like 3 weeks of rent and electric, and obviously got to pay teachers and supply food and drinks and other bits and pieces. But she said with those 2 students, it's covered. But ideally, I want at least 10, and anything up to 30. So things are taking off and still going really, really well. And as I said, I will be doing a monthly update, shop update, and developments and everything else. Not going to be on any specific date each month, just as and when things occur, and I've got a few items together to do a video about. So that's the shop update. I've got some more guitars in as well. So we're quite well stocked with guitars at the moment, electric and acoustic. I've been buying quite a few tools recently. always buying tools. I'm just addicted to it. So I'm going to show you a few of them. Now these, for example, some of you may recognize what these are. These are tail pieces. This one is for a guitar. This one, well, it's a 4-string one, so you know, there's a few different things you could use it on. Now I didn't actually buy these to use as tail pieces. What I bought them for is bridge alignment. So you know, you would attach this to the bottom of the guitar or whatever, and I've got a much shorter one here as well, which I'll be using for the ukuleles, and it's 4-string variety. So you just attach that to the bottom. You put 2 strings in, one each side, and the same with this one. So you just put the 2 end strings in, if that makes sense, and then put them onto the tuners and string it up so that this will effectively act as a temporary bridge, and then you get your proper bridge put underneath the strings, and then you can move it around to get your intonation right. Because on acoustic instruments, it's it's not difficult, but if you don't get it right, and then you've glued the thing on, you're stuck with it. Otherwise, you've got to remove the bridge and start all over again. So by using these and attaching 1 string either side, I can put the bridge underneath, not attached, and move it around until I get the correct intonation for the positioning of the bridge. Really clever idea, and so simple. And as I said, that's going to be for guitars, not that I'll use it that much. This one, I'm going to have to adapt this to make it even shorter, so I'm going to get rid of these bars in the middle because they're in the way, and then I'm just going to put the whole thing down and shorten it because it's still a bit too long. So that's what those are for. Intonating a bridge on acoustic instruments. Okay, so I think I've shown this before. I know I have actually. So this is a taper gauge for, well, it's for engineering, but we luthiers use it to check the string action, the height of the string off of the fretboard. So you slide it underneath the strings, and then when it touches, you get the reading here of how high the string is. They're a bit awkward to use, so I tend to use a ruler, put it on top of the fret, and then measure to the underside of the string. This is more accurate if you use them properly, and I do need to get used to using it because, as I said, they're much more accurate. So, and it was twice as long. This currently goes up to 6mm, but it was up to 10mm, so it was twice as long, but I chopped it down because I didn't need all that. I have kept the other half in case I need that for anything else. Okay, so there's that, and again for string height, string action, you can use those gauges, you can use a ruler, and you can also use picks. I've got picks here of all different gauges, and this will be for the first fret. So you can use a certain gauge of pick to measure the action at the first fret. So these are actually really useful for doing that. And I think you can measure up to about the 7th fret, but beyond that, they won't be thick enough. But they are pretty good for that. And it's it's much simpler, and they're lighter, easier to use, and everything else. So I've got several different methods for measuring string action. Now, and I've also got a set of feeler gauges as well, which I bought a long time ago, and I've never used them, but they're handy to have. You can use these as well for some of those kinds of applications. Now, some of you will have seen in some of my previous videos when I've removed a bridge or a fretboard using heat, using that iron just there, which is a dry iron, not a steam iron, very, very cheap. And this palette knife or paint scraper, which I modified slightly, so I rounded the edges off and filed the end really thin. I mean, it's not sharp, it's not going to cut you, but it's really, really thin. The whole thing is really thin. So that's great for getting under the bridge or the fretboard with the heat to lift it off. And the only problem with this is it's very flexible. So, you know, it does work, it works perfectly, but sometimes, you know, if you've got a particularly tough one and you're trying to push this in, it will, you know, bend about, and so sometimes it doesn't work as well as it could. So I bought a load more. These ones are actually cake knives, cake something, spreaders, whatever, and they were all like a lot longer. I've cut them actually. I've cut them all down and I've shaped them into. So you see, the middle one is a bit wider. Actually, let's put it. Okay, the middle one is a bit wider than the other two. Those two are about the same width. The middle one's a bit wider, and you see I've got a blunter point on that one. This one and this one, I've got a sharper point, and I've also ground the top surface down to make it really, really thin at the end, because these are quite thick. And as I said, I've got 3 of them, and they're all different sizes and shapes, but I've done the same with all of them. I've ground the top part down to make the end of it really thin. You can probably just about see that, how thin that is. But the rest of it is quite thick. It's probably at least 1 millimeter thick. So that makes these very stiff. These ones are really stiff, even the long one. I mean, it's a bit more flexible, but they're much stiffer. This one's probably too big, and I may never use this one, but it's handy to have all different sizes and shapes, including my original one. As I said, this one's great, it's just a bit too flexible sometimes. So I've not ground the bottom side because I'll need that to be really smooth, so as not to damage the surface of the surface of the instruments. So I've got those 4, and I also bought 2 really small ones. I think that one's actually a butter knife, and it's still got the serration on it. But I've done the same with those. I've ground the top down to make them thinner at the end, because these are about the same thickness as those. So these, again, even though they're very small, they are very stiff, really, really stiff. And on these ones, I also beveled the back side of the handles down, so that, you know, when I'm on the surface, I'm not gonna, if you use that edge, you see it could catch and mark it. So that's got the bevel on the bottom side, both of those. That one needs a bit more tidying up, but so those I think will be really, really useful. I'll probably get rid of this serration as well. I might just narrow the whole thing, but at the moment it's not a problem, and it's not sharp. As I said, I think it's a butter knife or something like that. So I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different gadgets that I can use for lifting bridges and fretboards. I should never need to buy another one again for the rest of my life. I'm sure those are going to be absolutely perfect. Okay, so one other tool I bought fairly recently is a notched straight edge. So this is to check how straight your neck and your fretboard is. So you've got one smooth side and one notched side to go over the frets. Now, in a previous video that I made months ago, I started a new project, and I haven't got any further with it, the cigar box guitar. So this is the neck, and I still haven't shaped it or anything. You know, I've got the basic shape, and then I've got the fretboard stuck on it. There's no frets in it at the moment, but I leveled it by hand as best I could, and then when I finish it, I'll put this on top. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's absolutely perfect. I don't understand how. It's absolutely perfectly flat. There's no light gaps anywhere. Absolutely perfect. So I won't need to do anything to that as far as that's concerned. However, when I put the frets in, I will need to do a fret job. Okay, one last tool. Oh, I love this tool. Haven't used it yet, but I've been wanting one of these for a long time. It is a Shinto saw rasp. What a piece of kit this is. These, as I'm sure you can tell by the name Shinto, they're Japanese. And indeed it says on the handle, Shinto, made in Japan. Now, this is a very aggressive rasp. It's actually called a Shinto saw rasp. I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, but if you look close up, it's not like a normal rasp. It's actually, it's more like saw blades. Actually, it is just like saw blades, and you can see they crisscross as well. So you've got one down each edge, okay, and then you've got them crossing over here as well. So it will cut on every angle. So that's the coarse side, and then that is the not so coarse side. I'm not going to say fine because it's far from that. Now, as I said, I've been wanting one of these for a long time. The reason I've only just got one is because I can now afford it. Because these are quite expensive. This cost me, what was it? I can't even remember now. About 900 baht, 900 baht, Thai baht, which is the equivalent of a little over 20 quid. So, I mean, they're not insanely expensive, but for a rasp, for one rasp, like 22 pounds or $25, I think, in that kind of money, it's quite a lot of money. But these are amazing. Now, I've never actually used this yet. I've been waiting to do this video to actually use it. So let's see. I've got a, ooh, what's that there? We'll see in a minute. So I've just got a piece of scrap wood here. Now this is the same wood that this neck is made out of. I'm not going to try it on this because I don't know how aggressive this is. So I'm just going to get a normal rasp first. 1 second. Ideally I should do this in a vise really, but it means having to move the camera and everything. So it's just kind of just a square block of wood. As I said, exactly the same wood as this neck is made from. So I'm just gonna just go over it a bit with the normal rasp. I'm gonna do it on the bench so I can hold it steady. You've seen rasping before. Okay, so I don't know if you were counting, but I did that 10 times. Okay, so you know, it takes off a fair bit of meat. You know, ordinary wood rasps are very good. So now I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the fine side first. I'm going to do 10 strokes like I did with the other rasp, trying not to cut my hand with it. Oh my god. Okay, so that's the side I've just done. And you can see, it didn't work very well because you really need to put it in a vise, but you can see it has cut a bit more than this side. Wow, I like that. So now I'm going to use the coarse side. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I really need this in a vise. I will just put it in the vise quickly. Do it that way. Kind of see me from there, can't you? Okay. Oh my god, that cuts. Okay, 10 strokes, just like the others. Okay, so that's the normal rasp. That's the fine side of the Shinto, and that's the coarse side. My goodness, look at that. And oh wow, that's amazing. That was money well spent. Definitely worth the money. So I'm going to be using that to shape this neck because it will be so much quicker. I don't want to use power tools because it can easily go wrong very, very quickly. And that's basically what I bought this for. This is an amazing bit of kit. Right, time is running out. So, I need to move on. So you probably saw just a few minutes ago in the background, I've got another new tool, a power tool. So this is a combined belt sander and disc sander. You can see there's a spirit level and a square on it at the moment because I was getting everything leveled up. So I've had a little bit of a practice with it. It's quite a nice toy. Just a small bench top one, not a powerful motor, but I've really wanted one of these for a long time as well. And again, I could justify buying it now because I can afford to. So it's got a decent 4-inch belt sander on there. And it's got a 6-inch, sorry I can't see what I'm doing, a 6-inch disc sander as well. Yeah, really good bit of kit and surprisingly cheap. So it's got the table on there, it's got this which is almost useless. And this, the belt sander part also can stand upright. So, you know, you can use it in different ways. So that's going to be a tool I will use a lot. Again, like I said, I've wanted one for a long time. Couldn't really justify the cost, but now I can. So it was time to get one. So now my power tool bench is pretty full. So where I've got the belt and disc sander is where I would normally set up the lathe that I made as well, but I rarely use it. So and that's not attached to the bench. It's got rubber feet on the bottom and it stabilizes itself. You don't need to bolt it down or anything. So I can, you know, quickly whip that away and to put the lathe on if I need to. So yeah, all good. Now one last thing, and I've just about got time, I think, is I've not been happy with recording using my phone, which is what I'm using now. It was a cheap phone, the camera's not great, sounds alright, the sound is okay, but the picture quality isn't fantastic. So I bought myself a new camera. And once again, something I've wanted for a while and, you know, couldn't afford it, but now I can. So, but it wasn't that expensive. 5,500 type art, that's, oh, hold on, £130, something like that. And it's, I mean, there were cheaper ones of this, the same brand, and this is not a known brand. But I specifically went with this one, which was a bit more expensive because it's got extras with it, which I will show you. So we've got a small sheet manual here for the lens attachments. We've got the user's manual. It is quite thick, but it's only 20 pages of English, so it's not highly detailed. Microphone manual, which I'm hoping is with it. I really do, because it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's open the box. Let me just tilt this down a bit. You can see what I'm doing. I really haven't got much time left, so crack ski on ski. Okay, so yay, cleaning cloth. Right, so we've got 2 batteries, which I think is pretty cool. 2 batteries with it, and the charger cable, USB, and so we've got another cable there, which is HDMI. That's obviously if you're connecting it to a TV, etc. It's remote control. Again, that was something I wanted specifically, so I paid a bit extra for that. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, that's the lenses. I'll come to that in a minute. Ooh, nice. Got the lens guard as well. That's rather cushy. Okay. What else? So this is a carry handle or mount combined, multi-purpose. So that's a pretty handy bit of kit as well. Let's see, there's another lead there. Oh, that's for the microphone, which means, oh yes, it is included. Microphone. Sock's a bit squashed, but that'll sort itself out. Nice little microphone there. Not sure how good it is, but I'm sure it's ample for what I need. It's adjustable as well for decibelage. Okay, that's that. And the camera itself, which has got a nice little carry pouch. Don't know why it's got a white bit in the front, but there you go. Oh, running out of time. Okay, so there's the camera itself. Nice looking little thing. There's the lens. Got a decent screen on it, which rotates most of the way around. About 270 degrees, I think, which is fine. That's all I need. So hopefully with this bit of kit, my video quality should start to improve somewhat. I can't say how much. I'm no camera expert, but hopefully once I've figured that out and you know, looked at all its gizmos and everything, I should be using that from now on. So I'm still not going to be editing videos or producing. I just record them, watch them, upload them. I've always done it the same way, and I will continue to do so. You get the raw video as it happens. I don't bother with editing. I haven't got the time. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. Please like, subscribe, share, yada yada yada. Hope you're enjoying these videos, and there will be many more. So in the meantime, take care. Peace out.